I was cutting vegetables in Mom's kitchen when my sister walked in wearing a dress that cost more than my rent, and my name is Emma. I'm 32 years old. I work as a librarian in a public school. I make $43,000 a year, and I'm proud of it. My sister Claire is 28. She's never worked a real job in her life. It was Mom's birthday dinner. The whole family was there. Dad at the grill. Mom setting the table. Claire's husband Derek talking about his new Tesla in the driveway, was making the salad, same as always, when Claire leaned against the counter and looked at me with that smile. The one that says she's about to say something mean but wants it to sound like a joke. Still at the library, she asked, inspecting her manicured nails. Yeah, I said. Still there. God, I don't know how you do it. Dealing with screaming kids all day for what, like, poverty wages? I kept chopping tomatoes. It's not poverty wages. And I like helping kids learn to read. She laughed. Actually laughed. That's so cute. You're like a charity case who became a charity worker. Derek walked in, drink in hand. What's cute? Emma's little library job, Claire said, air quoting job with her fingers. Derek smirked. Oh yeah. I forget you work. What is that, like part-time? Full-time, I said quietly. 40 hours a week. And you live in that studio apartment in the bad part of town, right? Claire wrinkled her nose. I saw pictures on Facebook. Emma, why don't you get a real job? Something in tech or finance. Make actual money. My hands stopped moving. I looked at her standing there in her designer dress, her Cartier bracelet catching the kitchen light. Not everyone can marry rich, I said. She smiled wider. No. Not everyone can. Mom walked in. Girls, dinner's ready. Emma, bring the salad out? I carried the bowl outside, my hands shaking. Dinner was worse. Sat around Mom's patio table, candles flickering, everyone laughing and talking. Except me. I just ate my food and stayed quiet. Claire was holding court, as usual. Talking about their upcoming trip to the Maldives. Their new house in the suburbs. The interior designer they'd hired. It's exhausting, honestly, she sighed dramatically. Choosing between marble countertops and quartz. First world problems, right? Everyone laughed. Mom beamed at her. You've done so well for yourself, sweetheart, Mom said, squeezing Claire's hand. Claire glanced at me. Well, I worked hard to find the right partner. Someone ambitious. Someone successful. Derek raised his glass. And I found someone who knows how to spend my money. He winked. Everyone laughed again. I took a sip of water and said nothing. Dad turned to me. How's work, Emma? It's good, I said. We just got funding for a new after-school reading program. I'm really excited about it. That's nice, Dad said, nodding. Claire leaned forward. Do they pay you extra for that? Or is it like volunteer work? It's part of my job. So no extra money. She shook her head. See, that's the problem with non-profit jobs. You work twice as hard for half the pay. You're literally losing money by being nice. I'm not losing money. I'm helping kids. Same thing, she said, shrugging. Derek laughed. She's got a point. My company made $3 million last quarter. You know how? By not working for free. Mom cleared her throat. Let's not talk about money at the table. Why not? Claire said. It's not like it's a secret that Emma's struggling. I mean, look at her car. Everyone's eyes turned to the driveway. My 10-year-old Honda sat next to Derek's Tesla and Claire's Range Rover. There's nothing wrong with my car, I said quietly. Of course not, Claire said sweetly. It's practical. That's very you. Practical and humble. The way she said humble made it sound like an insult. I looked at my plate. My appetite was gone and Mom changed the subject, talking about her garden. But I could still feel Claire's eyes on me. Judging. Pitying. After dinner, I helped clean up alone. Claire was too busy showing Mom photos of furniture on her phone. I stood at the sink washing dishes, and something inside me cracked, not broke. Just cracked. I was drying the last plate when Claire came back into the kitchen. She stood in the doorway, checking her phone, not really looking at me. You know, Em, she said casually, if you ever need money, you could just ask. Derek and I are doing really well. We could help you out. I set the plate down carefully. I don't need help. Are you sure? Because that apartment you're in. I mean, it's not safe. And your car's practically falling apart. She looked up, her expression so sincere it almost looked real. I worry about you. Don't. I'm your sister. Of course I worry. She sighed. I just wish you'd chosen a better path, you know? Done something with your life. You were always so smart in school. I did do something with my life. I became a librarian. She wrinkled her nose. Right. But like, a real career. Something impressive. Impressive to who? To everyone. She gestured vaguely. To Mom and Dad. To yourself. Don't you want more than this? I looked at her. Really looked at her. Standing there in her perfect dress with her perfect hair and her perfect condescending smile. I have everything I need, I said. She laughed softly. If that's what you need to tell yourself. She put her phone in her purse. Anyway, we're heading out. Derek has an early tea time tomorrow. But seriously, if you need anything, just call. We're family. She hugged me. It felt like being hugged by a mannequin. Thanks, I said flatly. I watched her walk out to the driveway, watched Derek open her car door for her, watched them drive away in their Range Rover. Mom came up beside me. She means well, she said softly. Does she? Mom didn't answer. I drove home in my old Honda, the one Claire had mocked, and sat in my studio apartment, the one she'd called unsafe. I looked around. It wasn't much. But I'd paid for every inch of it myself, and suddenly, I realized something. Claire had never paid for anything in her life, not her college tuition. Not her car. Not her wedding. Not her house, someone else had always paid. I pulled out my laptop and opened my email. Found the folder I'd labeled Family Finances. And I started reading. By midnight, I understood everything, and I was done being quiet. The next morning, I called my accountant. His name was Gerald. He'd been handling my finances for 3 years, ever since I inherited money from my grandmother's estate. Emma, he said cheerfully. What can I do for you? I need to see a full breakdown of where my trust fund has been allocated over the past 5 years. There was a pause. All of it? Every cent. That's going to be a long document. I have time. He sent it over within an hour. 43 pages. Line by line. Every transaction. Every transfer. Every withdrawal. I made coffee and started reading. Page 6. $85,000 transferred to Claire Whitmore for wedding expenses. Page 12. $45,000 to Claire Whitmore for home down payment assistance. Page 18. $12,000 monthly transfers to Claire Whitmore, labeled family support. I kept reading. My hands were shaking. Page 27. $30,000 for Claire's car. Page 31. $18,000 for furniture and renovations. Page 39, $25,000 for Maldives vacation fund. I did the math. Over 5 years, Claire had received nearly $400,000 from my trust fund, the one Grandma left me because I was the one who visited her every week. Who read to her when she got sick. Who held her hand when she died. Claire hadn't visited once in the last 2 years of Grandma's life. Said she was too busy, but somehow she'd been receiving money from my inheritance. Money I didn't even know I was giving her. I scrolled back to the authorization signatures. Every single transfer had been approved by one person. My mother. Mom was the trustee. She had control over distributions until I turned 35. She'd been giving my money to Claire. For years. Without telling me, I sat there staring at my laptop screen, my coffee going cold. Claire's designer clothes. Her house. Her cars. Her trips. Her entire lifestyle. I had paid for all of it, and she'd spent yesterday mocking me for being poor. I closed my laptop. Took a deep breath, then I called Gerald back. I need you to do something for me, I said. What's that? Stop all transfers to Claire. Immediately. And I want full control of my trust fund transferred to me. You're not 35 yet. Your mother would have to approve, then file for early termination. I'll get a lawyer if I need to. Gerald was quiet. Emma, are you sure? This could cause family problems. It already has, I said. They just don't know it yet. I didn't tell anyone what I'd discovered, not Mom. Not Dad. Not Claire. I just watched. 3 days after I stopped the transfers, Claire called me. Hey, she said, her voice tight. Have you talked to Mom lately? No. Why? No reason. Just wondering. She paused. How are you? How's the library? She'd never asked about my job before. Not genuinely. It's fine, I said. Same as always. Good. That's good. Another pause. Listen, Derek and I are having a little dinner party next Saturday. Just family. You should come. I'll think about it. Please come. It would mean a lot. She'd never invited me to anything before. Okay, I said. I'll be there. She sighed with relief. Great. See you then. She hung up fast. I sat there holding my phone, and I understood. Mom must have told her the money stopped. And now Claire was panicking. Over the next week, I got 3 more calls. One from Mom, asking if I was doing okay financially. One from Dad, suggesting we talk about the trust fund. And another from Claire, confirming I was still coming to dinner, said yes to everything. Played dumb. Acted normal. Meanwhile, I met with a lawyer. Her name was Patricia Chen, and she specialized in estate law. Your mother violated her fiduciary duty, Patricia said, reviewing my documents. She was supposed to act in your best interest. Instead, she funneled your inheritance to your sister without your knowledge or consent. Can I get it back? Some of it. Maybe. But it'll be messy. Family lawsuits always are. I don't want to sue, I said. I just want control. And I want them to know what they did. Patricia leaned back in her chair. What exactly do you want, Emma? I thought about Claire's face at Mom's birthday dinner. The way she'd laughed at my job. My car. My life.my life that I'd funded hers with. I want the truth to come out, I said. At dinner. In front of everyone. Patricia smiled. I can work with that. She drafted a document. Every transfer. Every dollar. Every lie. I had it printed and bound. Professional. Undeniable. The night before the dinner, I laid out my clothes. Simple black dress. Nothing fancy. I didn't need to look rich, I just needed to look ready. Saturday came. I drove to Claire's house in my old Honda. The one she'd mocked. The one I'd paid for myself. Her house was massive. 3 stories. Perfectly landscaped lawn. A fountain in the front yard. Paid for 20% of it. Derek opened the door, drink already in hand. Emma. Come in, come in. The house was exactly like the pictures she'd shown Mom. Marble countertops. Designer furniture. Art on the walls that probably cost more than my yearly salary. Why money? Everywhere, Claire appeared at the top of the stairs in a silk jumpsuit. You made it. She came down and hugged me. I'm so glad you're here. Wouldn't miss it, I said. Mom and Dad were already in the living room. Mom looked nervous. Dad looked uncomfortable. They knew something was wrong. They just didn't know that I knew. We sat down for dinner. The table was set beautifully. Expensive china. Crystal glasses. Fresh flowers. Claire had made salmon. Or rather, their private chef had made salmon. This is amazing, I said, taking a bite. Thanks, Claire said, smiling. We're really lucky to have Maria. She's a miracle worker. I bet she's expensive. Claire waved her hand. We can afford it. That's good, I said. It's important to be able to afford your lifestyle. Mom's fork paused halfway to her mouth. Claire didn't notice. Exactly. That's what I've been telling you. You deserve nice things too, Em. You just have to prioritize differently. Interesting advice, I said. Coming from someone who's never paid for anything herself. The table went silent. Derek looked confused. What? Claire laughed nervously. Emma, what are you talking about? I reached into my bag and pulled out the bound document. Set it on the table next to my plate. I'm talking about this, I said calmly. A complete breakdown of where my trust fund has been going for the past 5 years. Mom went pale. Emma, she said quietly. This isn't the time. When is the time, Mom? I looked at her. When were you planning to tell me that you've been giving my inheritance to Claire? That I've been funding her entire life while she mocks me for being poor? Claire grabbed the document. Started flipping through it, her face changed with every page. This isn't. She looked at Mom. You told me this was your money. It was family money, Mom said weakly. It was my money, I said. From Grandma. Who left it to me?